Now an awkward spot from David Duval. Coming out the light rough, and really, ideally, wants to pitch it in the little gully in front of the green, hope it skids up. And I know Jules is down there, Julian Tutt. How far has he left himself?
Well, he's got 208 to the pin, but with the pin over on the left-hand side, as you say, he probably wants to start it quite well right, especially with the wind coming now quite hard from the right. And he can hopefully just land it short, draw it in, and let it run up. But as you say, it's pretty tough to get close to. His drive is 320 yards, which is, well, not too far short of Tiger's. He's driven his 393 yards.
David just backing off that shot. He's not happy with it. It's just that awkwardness. You get a better view here now of the angle of the wind blowing across and from behind a little bit, but the stance above the ball. Started to the right. He likes it though because it's coming back on the wind. And what a beautiful shot that is at the par 5. It'll run on a wee bit. It'll come down this slope. Not far away from where Ernie Els was. We all saw the line there. Big swing from the right. Ernie Els at the 8th. 175-yard short hole. There are only 2 par 3s on this great old links. And he's drifted with the breeze from the ocean. Certainly from the North Sea, anyway.
Tom Lehman. Second shot there to the 7th. Very difficult flag to get it close to today.
And Tom's after a terrific approach just up the little bank. Very nicely held, lovely smooth stroke. So after dropping a stroke at the 5th, picks it straight back at number 6. And he's 10 under.
Tiger Woods by 5 from Els and Duval. So Tiger strikes with his first birdie at the 4th. And he's now just one off the record total against par that Nick Faldo recorded here when he won in 1990, 18 under par. But Els and Duval will maintain their challenge, and David Toms isn't fading away by any means either. Tom Lehman, Dennis Paulson with him at 10 under par, so too Darren Clark, who's had 2 birdies and 1 bogey. Bernard Langer through the turn at 9 under par, out in 33.
Woods just 140 yards to the flag, lovely angle. Oh no, needed another yard. Down into the hollow, it's so nearly perfect. Lehman after that fairly conservative approach. Tom Lehman has used his putter, the same putter, for 17 years. Chance, just on the high side, beautiful putt.
Back to the 5th, 3rd shot now. 3 days in a row Tiger's been in this position. Almost holed it on Friday from down there. Yesterday wasn't a good effort, and today not even getting it to the putting surface after 4 tee shots of well over 350 yards. just off the putting surface, so he's unable to mark the ball still.
Well, very fortunate it didn't come wandering back to him, Wayne.
Yes, he was. He's quite amazing that he couldn't get it onto the green any day, Ken, isn't it? He's just probably landed it too lofted a club into that gully in front of the green, and it just hasn't bounced forward.
Now the pitch into the sixth, very, very problematical. And you just don't know where to land the ball. Can't fly it all the way and get it close. Flag just 4 paces up the tier and pitches it into their little ridge. And this, is it a beauty? Oh, what a terrific effort. Unlike Tiger Woods, the ball just skipped forward. And short of the tap-ins to Thomas Bjorn.
Dennis Paulson. See the ball bounce just after he hit it. It's never on line or hard enough, my goodness. Very unusual to see a world-class player hit a putt like that.
Darren going with the putter. Second to the sixth. Oh, it seemed to bobble. Just got to hurry down the slope. It's made it.
Eagle putt now, Duval. We've seen this putt many times. And a very good putt. He'll have that to be 3 under for the day to take him to 13 under.
Paulson to save his par. Right edge. Oh, when he pulled it. So his first drop stroke of the day, got off to such a flying start with birdies at the first and the second.
Now Tiger Woods for birdie. Still not quite on the putting surface here on the 5th. There's a tremendous view. Aiming well to the left. And a great putt there from Tiger. But only birdieing this hole twice over the 4 days. The easiest hole on the golf course this week. Actually played 3/10 of a stroke easier this hole than the par 4 17.
Els. Seeing some putts just grazing the holes. Just a par for Ernie.
Now the birdie putt for David Duval. Sneaking 1 shot closer. Oh, and you can't let opportunities like that go by if you're going to catch Tiger Woods. You would have been so excited at the opportunity to maybe pick 2 up on Tiger today on this hole. At the end of the week, when you add up all these little misses, they're very costly. Well,
to Darren, birdie chance at the 7th, but never had quite enough pace. Stays on the large group at 10 under. That includes Lehman Thomas Bjorn, studying the leaderboard.
9th tee, Ernie Els taking 3 wood off the tee. Bunker's out there in the middle of the fairway, 263 yards away. He's gone well right with that, way over under the 10th. But very safe and a good angle into this flag.
And the 6th tee and Tiger Woods out with the driver. Just selecting the right line. His caddy will be telling me exactly where the flag is, the best angle to get to the pin. Steve Williams is out every morning looking where the pins are cutting and their exact locations. Let's have a fly or a wonder down the 6th hole. It's 412 yards. Heathery out. It's 240 yards to reach the fairway almost, but no problem for Tiger Woods. There's the Coffins bunkers down the left-hand side. The longer you hit it, the narrower the fairway gets. Tiger will be down past that 300-yard mark, and he's left himself this awkward little pitch that goes through the little gully there just at the front of the green, and the flag 4 paces above that little hollow, and it's about 5 feet deep. It's difficult to control his second shot. Maybe he can drive the green. He'll certainly be giving it a heave-ho.
Just hold those cameras, please. Thanks very much. Well, on that target this time.
Just going back to recompose himself, some members of the huge photographic corps here this week just got a little bit eager with the shutter.
Great drive. Yep. Huge target.
Do you think he can reach?
Well, he was on the crosswalk yesterday and putted it, so he's just passed the crosswalk today.
Interesting strategy. Going to leave himself a full shot for his second to get a bit more backspin on it. I'd like to find a little upslope here if he could. Certainly doesn't want to find a divot.
It's amazing, isn't it, how long the ball takes to actually settle as we go to the 9th. Second shot now.
Well, Wayne, this is a shot of 95 yards for Ernie. A little bit more than that, in fact. Awkward straight, but it is straight into the wind, as you suggested off the tee. This is a good angle in. If he can get the yardage right, and this looks like it might be a bit short. Needs to go on a bit, needs to kick on. He needs a 3 here to get it out of 31, which would have been quite a good performance, to say the least.
Gives you the perspective of the 9th green there, pin tucked in the left-hand corner.
David Tom's birdie putt on 7. Just outside the right, read it perfectly. Moves to 11 under par.
Well, Tom Lehman here on the 8th has got a very makeable putt, slightly off his left. The wind started to get up here, and it's making some of the approach shots quite hard. Certainly no preamble with Tom's putting stroke, and he's been very close to holding a lot of putts, but they're just not dropping for him at the moment.
So hard with the wind puffing up and the tough pins to get the ball inside a range that you'd fancy your chances of holding. Very keen fisherman, Tom Lehman. He was out there at Loch Lomond last week every night in the loch next door to the 13th hole. Par for him, 2 under for the round, 10 under. Someone needs to make a bit of a rush, make an eagle, hold a couple of long putts around the loop here if they're really going to put any pressure on Tiger Woods. John van der Velde. He's in, I think, in one of the bunkers called the Principal's Nose. Absolutely embedded in there. He'll do very well to get the ball out. Awkward stance. Which way do you come up? Huge deep lift. You can't come forwards. Can't really go backwards.
One of these bunkers is about the only thing that I can see, Ken, that could stop Tiger from his march this afternoon. He's actually in the greenside bunker. Remember the other day we saw Fred Couples in this bunker play it well to the left. Finish up with about a 150-foot putt.
Julian Tutt's down there, and the breeze just seems to be puffing up a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, it's certainly significant, Ken. This is such an awkward shot to get close. He's got a sandwich, 106 to the pin, but really needs to land it in the bank just short.
Don't hit on the downslope.
Couldn't. Just pitching a little flat bit, skipped up, and with a little bit of check on it. Very sound strategy. I wonder what Tiger Woods is going to do.
He's doing exactly what he did from a very similar position in the second round, Ken. He's got the putter out. Probably almost his only option, really, if he wants to get it close, although there's a big fold in the ground about 10 yards in front of him, which will tend to take the ball away to the left, unless he starts it a long way right.
Doesn't want to get too cute here. He's better going 15 feet past and getting it on the top level than trying to just roll it to the hole side and leaving it in the hollow. With a 5-shot lead, there's no need to take any unnecessary risks, certainly at this stage.
Thomas Bjorn, second shot on 7. Players have had difficulty getting it close here. But that's one of the better ones that we've seen. Disappointing bogeys at 4 and 5, and birdie at 6 for Bjorn.
Els for a 3 at the 9th. And he knows he's got to make something happen and force that one into the cup.
Now the second shot of Darren Clark on the 7th. Taking a different route along the ground. And beautifully played. The galleries really love to see the players bump the ball along the ground.
Tom's at the 8th. Pin at the front of the green. And the ball always lands on the downslope here and has a hard first bounce. And pretty well judged. Van der Velde got it out, but back the way it came from. They can be so vicious, those bunkers.
A great view of St Andrews there in the background. Tiger Woods on the 6th green. It's from 25 feet. Duval in close with a really good birdie opportunity.
Always Wayne putting from the back of this putting surface here. It's uphill. It's pretty slow.
He gave that a good wrap, didn't he, Ken? As you said, good wrap, and it still comes up 3.5 feet short.
Now if Duval were to hole and Tiger were to miss, he has missed 2 putts of that range this week.
Tenth tee, Ernie Els. Very drivable. Seen many players put it on here. And he tapped in for par on 9. Almost to the front of the don't roll back in there. There's all those sand-filled divots in that little hollow.
Duval at the 6th. He missed that opportunity at the 5th. He can't afford to miss too many more. Left edge. Well done. Duval moves to 13 under.
Doesn't show much emotion on the golf course. Duval, probably the only time I really have seen it was when he shot 59 in the last round, the Bob Hope Desert Classic.
You weren't at the Ryder Cup, Wayne.
Well, I wasn't, Ken, no.
Got a little bit carried away there at times.
Now, a very important putt for Tiger. Only 2 bogeys this week, both from 3 putts. Oh, and it's in the bottom. Just sneaking in that left edge.
That's fallen down in 6. I'll switch off.
Little punch shot coming up for the second shot of Tom Lehman at 9. Must be online. He likes it. Just a little shy. Almost a perfect circle, this green.
David Toms, birdie putt on 8. Great putt. First Open Championship appearance for Toms. Moves to 12 under.
Seventh hole, you drive over the beautiful gorse. It's not in flower at the moment. Never a big hump in the fairway. The right at the gorse there, you've got to take that out of play. Most players will take at least a 3-wood. It's 240 yards to clear that. Then you try and stop the ball before it reaches the big shell bunker, the cockle bunker there. And ideally you want to drive as far up and to the left as you possibly can today, because that gives you the best angle and the flattest area of green to land your second shot on.
Val just taking an iron from the tee. just getting over that ridge and running down into perfect position, as Ken said, over to the left-hand side to give a better angle.
He was the last person on the range last night, Tiger Woods. And that was his coach, Butch, working on all different types of shots.
He doesn't mind experimenting, does he, Ken, with shots? He'll try hit low, high, hooks, cuts. Get the feeling he really enjoys playing all the different types of shots. And he probably has a few more than most people.
And that is the perfect angle to get at the flag. By going down there, you have about 7 or 8 more yards of flat green to pitch the ball in, and you can use the left-hand contour of the putting surface. His tactical play this week, Wayne, has been really quite superb.
Yes, there's nothing been left to chance, has there? It's all... One thing having good tactics, the other thing is able to execute them, and he seems to have been able to execute them with ease.
Bernie Els in this little indentation in the fairway here, very lucky to avoid the sand-filled divots there, but he's got a clean lie. It's very, very tight. But he doesn't mind that too much because he's going to need to spin this, get it up pretty quickly to go over that little rise in front of him. And he's then got a shot of, quite 50-odd yards in the whole thing. Get it down. Now it should start slowing down. A little bit of spin, slow down, slow down. Well, it's 8 out of 10, I think we'll probably give him for that by his parlance.
Enormous galleries here, perfect conditions for watching golf. Amazing scenes all around the golf course.
Yes, there's absolutely nothing like looking out over the links and seeing all the grandstands full. And the big TV towers. And Tom Lehman on 9 for birdie. Just slides it by. But you'll come out here next week, Ken. All the grandstands will be gone. You'll look out and you won't be able to see one thing except gorse and bushes. You wouldn't even know there was a golf course out there.
The amazing thing about St Andrews is they have over 40,000 rounds on the golf course, the old course, each year.
Tom Lehman in that group at 10 under par with Thomas Bjorn and Darren Clark. But David Duval remounts his challenge on Tiger Woods and cuts the lead back down to 4 with that birdie at the 6th hole. His 3rd birdie of the round. But Woods at 17 under, Duval at 13 under, then Els and Toms with birdies, 3 straight birdies, 6, 7 and 8, both at 12 under par. And then a little further down, Bernard Langer playing the 12th at 9 under par with Phil Mickelson, who's gone out in 34.
Clark, birdie putt on the par 3 8th hole, uphill. Should turn a little to his right at the end. And a little shy of the hole. And Darren missing golden opportunities for birdies at the 5th and the 7th hole. Unfortunately, at the 5th, he drove into trouble, and that stopped his run.
Through the hole.
Very shrewd tee shot from David Duval on the 7th. He's far enough back. He's got 108 to the pin that he can give it a fairly full sand wedge. I say fairly full, probably just 3/4 sand wedge, and land it on the flat part of the green and stop it, despite the fact it's downwind. It's a very burnt fairway here, so you can really nip it off the top.
You'll aim this probably a little bit left of the flag, and one of those 2 cameramen and the TV tower behind, and try and slice spin it in, cut it in. played. And Tiger, Jules?
Yes, he's got 81 to the pin. He was saying he was last out last night, Ken. It was fascinating watching him, wasn't it? Because he was just showing off almost like a little boy, really. He's so mature, but still a kid in many ways.
Well, so far we've seen David Duval consistently hit it inside Tiger all morning. David 3 under for the round, Tiger only 1 under.
Now Thomas Bjorn's given himself a real genuine birdie chance at the 8th. And he's holed it too. Well done. 2 birdies in 3 holes.
Birdie putt now, 10th green for Ernie Els to move into a tie with David Duval. As he hit it, Ernie birdied this hole yesterday to move into 2nd position and then didn't capitalise on the 12th and 14th. He faded away.
Now must putt for Darren Clark. This is a safe par at the 8th. Oh, he tried to bullet it in again. The 2 shortish ones missed him. A few holes, and this is one at the 4th and now one at the 7th. 9 under and he's 8 behind. Lehman with the 1 iron. 10th tee out in 34. This is a fantastic thing about St Andrews. There's so many different ways of playing each hole. Some players will go with a driver, others will go with a 1 iron.
We zoom down to the adjoining 7th and 11th greens. Tiger Woods just placing his ball back. It's a great area for the galleries to watch this tournament, this championship, with the loop, as they call it. Mandatory idiot yelling, "Get in the hole." And it'll be a safe par 4 for Tiger. I must say, though, that overall the galleries at the Open Championship every year are tremendous. The best in golf, the most knowledgeable. And they really are a pleasure to play in front of.
Tom's with 120 yards to the bit at the 9th. Distance about right, but a little bit errant.
Now back to the 7th and David Duval with another birdie opportunity to move 1 stroke closer. Someone's telephone going off there in the background. Just waiting for the players on the 11th green to finish out. Caddy there, Greg Reeder, getting down to help David read this.
Beautiful views there across the Eden estuary. Tide must be either just coming in or just going out.
Closest anyone's been to Tiger now for a while. Val moves to 14 under par. 3 shots back. What a great outward 9 so far, Ken. 4 under with a 3 putt for par on the 5th.
He's come close in a lot of major championships as David Duval, yet to win one.
David Toms now birdie putt on the 9th. And that's an outward 9, a 32, 4 under par for David Toms. Enjoying his first experience here.
Down on the very sheltered 8th tee. I'm sure Julian Tutt's floating around somewhere down there. How far is this hole playing today? Temporarily lost Julian. It requires a high, soft landing iron shot here. From where the players are looking at it, there's a big bunker between you and the flag. Easy to tell where the breeze is coming from with the grandstand and the crowd around the tee. You can't feel the wind.
Ken, as you're saying, it's sheltered on the tee because of the grandstand around it, but there's actually quite a strong breeze now up around the green, and with the bunker just 15 yards short, he's got to be very careful not to balloon it and into that. He shouldn't do. If anything, he might just play long.
A little undecided.
It's a very visually intimidating tee shot, this, Ken, isn't it? It doesn't look that much from the camera, but you can't see much from the tee, except a big bunker staring you in the face.
He also knows he's just starting to see the door slightly opening in this championship, and one good rapier type iron shot would put further pressure on Tiger. Swirling round, he just can't feel it. The wind comes around the grandstand.
This is where a good caddy comes in, Ken, just to reassure his player that he's got the correct club in his hand, that the wind is where he believes it's from. Ultimately, it's a player's final decision, but
Looks like he may have changed down from a 6 to a 7.
Okay, good flight with it, bud.
Mobile phones off, please.
they've actually banned mobile phones on the golf course in America. If anyone's found with them, they're confiscated and given back at the end of the day. Now he seems ready.
Good 5 yards short of where he meant to land it, only just carrying over the bunker. So awkward to get the ball close to that pin. 6th hole, 175 yards on the card. There's the big deep bunker, the one on the left-hand side at the front of the green. He just managed to clear, and the pin is about 12 yards over the bunker, but it's all a downslope where you land the ball. That's the view the player gets. Only been 6 twos here today.
No indecision there from Tiger Woods, flying the iron straight over the flag. Good opportunity for his birdie. Both players birdied this hole yesterday. Now, Ernie Els. Tee shot on 11. Nearly catching up in the flag.
David Duval turning this into a great contest now. 3 shots behind Tiger Woods' lead, both on the 8th green. David Toms at 13 under par, 4 straight birdies from the 6th. He's gone out in 32. Ernie Els at 12 under par. Thomas Bjorn at 11 under par with that birdie at the 8th. The rest starting to lose touch. Tom Lehman, Lauren Roberts. Stuart Appleby at 9 under par with Bernard Langer, who's had 3 straight pars after going out in 33. And Phil Mickelson at 9 under par, Dennis Paulson at 9 under par, and Darren Clark with 2 bogeys in the last 5 holes, back to 9 under par as well. There's Paul Laziness round of 67 today, and among those on 7 under par and finished, Vijay Singh, Davis Love, and Bob Estes, Singh with a round of 68, and Davis Love missing a short one on the last for a round of 67. Mark McNulty, Nota Bigay, Fred Couples, and Steve Flesh completing that group at 7 under par. Nacy Padraig Harrington at 6 under par with Dean Robertson also at 6 under par. Well into the back 9 now, and Paul McGinley in at 6 under par.
This is Thomas Bjorn. This at the 9th. That's a birdie.
Any else now for a par? This is the 11th. Oh, and that's been the story for so many this week. They just haven't managed to do it. Tiger's made the fewest mistakes thus far, but Duval is almost in his footsteps.
And here is David Duval. The short hole, this putt for birdie. Very unlucky break. Tee shot hit just short and pitched hard to the right. That needing to get up. Well, the front 9 today, the first 9 going out playing in 35, averaging 35 with the field, and the back 37. So the back 2 shots harder today. We're seeing some wonderful scoring on the first 9. Now Duval to try to save par, and does.
Well, David Toms has had a most marvellous run in the last few holes. Must be feeling quite excited about the prospect of getting up into the top 3 or 4. That puts added pressure on, of course, and he's played an iron off the tee here, left himself a nice full shot into the slight breeze that there is at the moment. Has 125 yards to the flag. I'd imagine he'll try and pitch it about halfway up the green with something like a little punched 9-iron or maybe a full wedge.
Sit down. Sit.
No, he didn't get that at all, and unfortunately he's just pushed it right the way through the back of the green. Could leave a very awkward pitch back.
Tiger now for a birdie. 8th green. Well, now. Got the line okay.
Very un-Tiger-like, Peter, to leave it that far short.
Yeah, but he's got this to remain 3 ahead. And I remember when Arnold Palmer was, what, 7 ahead with 9 holes to play at the Olympic Club in San Francisco many moons ago, playing against Billy Casper, 7 ahead, and just threw it all away. And then in the playoffs the next day against Casper, he was again 5 or 6 strokes ahead, and it all drifted away. So when you get in a position like Tiger's in, the main thing is to not make mistakes. He doesn't make many, he hasn't made many, but they'll be just gnawing at him, because Duval's unquestionably played the best golf of the two this afternoon. Struck the ball cleanly, had good chances, and all pressure on Woods at the moment, but for a young man, very experienced, he's got a 3-shot cushion, which is very nice indeed.
Now Tom Lehman, his tee shot at the 11th. Right over the flagstick, and will it stop? Eventually. Not a makeable birdie for Lehman from there. Very difficult putt down the hill.
10th tee, Thomas Bjorn. He can reach if he really clatters one. Oh, we got that, threw it back straight, and it's galloping on. Yes, a few yards short of the front of the green.
Now a shot of the 9th tee. David Duval using an iron. Just want to make sure you miss old Mrs. Kruger. Bunker on the left, on the top of the screen. Now Tiger very wisely using an iron. He can't reach this green off the tee. Wind in his face. There's that little knockdown 4-iron. Down the left-hand side. Both balls in perfect position. Warming up on the range today, Peter, he was hitting a lot of these little whip shots, these real fast rotation of the body knockdown shots. I think he was thinking that the wind might come up, but it appears it's still just a breeze.
Yes, tide's beginning to, well, not for another hour or so will it start to come in, but then the estuary behind will fill, and that might bring a little bit of wind. That's the one ingredient that's been missing this week. The players really haven't been tested enough as we like to see them, particularly here at St Andrews.
Well, David Toms had to ask the referee Michael Lunt for this match whether he could replace his ball after that obviously thinned shot. He was allowed to change the ball and left himself with actually quite a nice approach putt. I thought it was going to be a little bit more awkward than that, but he seems to have done a good job there.
I think we're going to hear a lot from this fellow in the years ahead. Very nice, sound player, isn't he?
He has the ingredients of a very solid player, one that'll play well for a long time, barring any injuries. He has a really good golf swing, and he's played on the regular tour, lost his card, went out on the Nike tour, which is now the Buy.com tour, came back, and that builds a lot of character. Since then, he's won a tournament 98 and 2 in 99, and here's a look at the 9th hole.
Pretty straightforward from here, isn't it? But you've got to be careful of the bunkers in the middle of the fairway. Gorse up the left. Used to be a lot more gorse in there years ago, but it goes in sort of cycles. Flattish green, no bunkers round about. Judging the distance to the flag here is never easy. Of course, wind against. I've played this with a drive and a 3-iron, and I've driven it. So it just shows you how the conditions can change. But it's not the easiest of greens, although it's flattish, like so many here. There are lots of little runs. Tiger's played this away out to the right, safe, but quite a long shot in.
Duval's got 120 to the pin. Classic bit of match play here. I don't know if this is deliberate, but on almost every hole now, Duval is playing his second shot first, and he seems to be getting it consistently closer to the pin than Tiger Woods is.
I like it.
He's got to be very careful here.
5 from the left.
Not to turn it over at all, which Ernie Els did in the second round, I think, and ended up in the very thick rough, which is very close to the left edge of the green.
Well, David got off to a very slow start on Thursday, played 1 over going out the first 9. That a very slow start for a player of this caliber under those conditions, but he's been brilliant since. 9 under the last 26 holes. Oh, just a little bit of break in the old concentration. Peter, what about his swing?
Well, it's very much his own. I don't know. He must be elasticated around the waist, because I don't know anyone who gets through the ball as far as he does. And it's very flattish at the top.
Oh, don't fall right. Oh, God.
And with that very strong grip, he and Azinger both have very, very strong grip. But as long as you keep your hands going through, forward, you can keep the blade on line, you're okay.
Now Ernie Els. His tee shot at the par 4 12. We've seen a lot of balls on this green this week. Off the tee. Oh, Ernie, you've slid it to the right once again. That is Gorse headquarters. And that's the penalty on this hole, Peter, is it?
Well, that little area there might well have dented his chances of this championship. I think he's been in there certainly on 2 occasions. Now Tiger.
Well, 111 yards to the pin. This will be probably a sand wedge.
Down.
Oh, he's hit it too far. Come back. Look at that. Really put a very solid hit on that ball and just bounced up and stopped it dead.
Toms for his par at the 10th. Toms remains at 13 under par, 4 behind.
Well, as Jerry Pate was explaining, Ernie's sliced it on the right-hand side in the middle of the gorse bushes down short, just about 60 yards short of the green. It's unplayable, and David Garland's the referee for this match. He's identified a position in a straight line as far back as he can, in a straight line to the flag from where the ball originally lay, and that means that Ernie will be playing 3.
Thomas Bjorn, his second to the 10th. The sand wedge, he's going to put it back in his stance and just sort of punch it down nice and low, let it release. Right side, right arm, just like tossing the ball underhanded right to the hole. And there it is. The ball looked like it was pulled along by a string, or it was motored. And that's how you hit the bump and run.
Tom's at the 11th. Both the short hole flags today in very inaccessible positions. The 8th and the 11th, just over the top of the front bunker on both holes.
Well, Ernie Els pitching out. And Mike, did he take a penalty? Well, and I guess he did. That was his third. And you can see Ernie is not happy with that tee shot. That could cost him, as Peter Allis said, this championship.
Well, this hole certainly, Jerry, has cost him a few, as we see if David Duval can hold this long putt for a birdie. Well, that could be a mistake. That could be a big mistake. Fired that very boldly. Now, if you listen very carefully, right here, Bing Crosby.
Peter, you reckon they have a telly out there on that little
Well, I don't know.
boat?
I need a few sort of soft cushions to sit on, and I'm not a great sailor. Although being a Piscean I should be, but here we are. Tiger. If you could just slide this one in. Had a birdie here every day. Come much closer than that. 4 for Tiger. And 35. Now there's a big moment here for Duval. This must go in, you feel, if he's going to keep up the challenge, because the holes are going to get more difficult after the next 3, 2, 3. And I don't think, unless he has an amazing run, he's going to have much chance of nibbling into Tiger's lead, unless this goes in. This must go in. Well done. Tiger just has this little tiddler for his par. So 9 holes left. Tiger Woods 3 strokes ahead. Just the one birdie.
But not many hiccups. And speaking of hiccups, Ernie Els with a errant tee shot the last 2 days here at 12. This to try to save par. Just up the hill, breaking to the right, keep the speed up. Oh, what a crucial par putt for Ernie Els. Made a 6 here yesterday and was looking like 6 today, and he saved a par.
Fred Couples at the 14th. Third shot. Oh, Fred! Where have you been, my lovely Fred? Well, That's nothing. You just, I don't know how that happened. He got some magic spin on that one. Get away, Fred. Well, well, well. That's pulled him up, 10 under.
Well, and a new tee here at the 10th. It's been cut back and nestled in the gorse bushes. First on the tee, David Duval. And even though it has been lengthened, I don't think there's any problem for Tiger Woods to hit it on this green or near the green. It's 379 yards to the center. Change. If Tiger Woods does not birdie.
David is just... Oh, you lucky little laddie. And he's missed that one as well. Not sure he will have seen that. Tiger Woods has made his great play between the 8th and the 13th. Now watch this one. He bounces. And it just... next bounce. There. Then it's in. It's in the bunker. And it's in. It's not in. Clear the top by no more than 2 or 3 inches. Tiger just marking his golf ball, so if it should wander into the bushes, mine's the one with that cross out on or whatever. He's got the big stick out, the big furniture.
Well, Butch Harmon has really worked hard on Tiger's rotation in his body. He tends to get a little quick with his hips.
Like that, you mean?
Yeah, but that wasn't too quick. That was in sync. What about this drive?
Oh, it landed soft. It's got a bit of stagger just up on, I think. May roll back. No, it's climbed the hill.
What about that, Peter?
That was a good one. When it landed, I thought it landed a bit soft and he was going to come up 10 or 15 yards short. Because he's 25 yards or more from the hole.
Yeah, but at only about 360 off the tee.
You can do that when you're young. Downwind, hard ground.
Now, David Toms, this a very important putt for par. A lot of P's there. Oh, when he pushed the putt for par. So Tom will drop one at the 11th.
And that's what's been happening since day one. Well, perhaps not day one, day two certainly. People with opportunities of making ground up didn't, and Tiger escaped from them. Now Lehman's second, 128 yards to the flag on this 12th hole. Which has been regularly driven, and that's a nice shot from Lehman.
Well, there's Lauren Roberts holding out on the 11th. That was a par. Roberts stays at 10 under. Really playing well. He won last week by 8 shots at the Milwaukee Open.
Thomas Bjorn. Eleventh hole. Only 2 birdies at this 11th hole today.
Darren Clark, this tee shot at the 11th. Playing straight downwind today, northeasterly wind, but beautiful afternoon, bright sunshine after this morning's cloud, and absolutely ideal for this last day of the championship. 7-iron, most of the players using here. The idea just to carry that front bunker and hope for a bit of spin. And that's as good as they can do. I saw through it before, how difficult the putting is on this hole.
Yes, this has been a fine championship, but in some ways it's lacked a little bit of sparkle because he hasn't been challenged enough. This 10th hole, this is the one that's been lengthened a little bit, and those bunkers again on the right-hand side can come into play, but really not under these sort of conditions with the wind behind there, smashing miles past that. Tiger's just driven the green. And little humps and bumps and grassy bits up there, but and gorse on the left. But once you get it straight, the ground conditions the way they are, you just run through and up and onto the green, or very close to it. 11th tee on the left-hand side. That's fancy. That's David Duval, who just missed the bunker.
Peter Duval is in a position where 9 times out of 10 I think you'd expect him to putt it, but there's a very small patch of really lush thick grass about 4 or 5 yards in front of his ball, dead on the line, so that might just stop him putting it.
Well, there's a little lush. Well, he might play it with a 6 or a 7 iron. Tiger's on the green, but miles from the hole. No guarantee of 2 putting, although his touch has been very good this week. That's the crowd up on the right there behind the 11th green.
This is the 13th. Ernie L's second shot. Little blind shot, 165 yards. Little bump, 6 or 7 iron, probably a 6. Back into the wind. Oh, now. Oh, good shot for Ernie.
Tom Lehman. On the 13th. No, the 12th, I beg your pardon. Oh, no.
No, I like that play.
Well, now this is going to be thrown up onto the green. Fairly flat. See the flag just fluttering away. There seems to be lots of flat area, a lot of land up there to pitch on.
You know, Peter, this putt, or this shot about 20 feet from the hole actually starts to pick up speed. Just slightly goes downhill and the wind will carry it along.
Well, he judged the pace very well.
Twelfth tee, David Toms. We saw him drive it on here yesterday. Oh, they like it again. Yes. Will it stay on? A beautiful tee shot for David Toms.
Great view of the estuary, which is just beginning to fill up now. High tide at 8:12 tonight. Huge crowd. It was very chilly this morning, so if you wonder why some of them got anoraks on, and because if their winter woolies are not a million miles away, that was the reason. It really was chilly here until about 12:30 this morning, and now it's absolutely lovely, absolutely delightful. It's Muir in the background and the great Lucas airfield and the railway station. Famous station, Lucas. Change at Lucas.
Peter, Tiger's taken an extraordinary amount of time to look at this putt.
Well, it's a long one, you know. Look how far he's marching back. It's a huge putt. And if you were a pitcher at baseball, you wouldn't like to hurl it that far. You'd be beyond a pitcher's distance, and in our parlance, a cricket pitch.
Well, and he knows that if he can get this down in 2 and go to 18 under, well, he can play in with a wedge.
You see that little bunker behind the caddy there? I'm sure people come in and wonder, how on earth can you get into a bunker there? Who would ever go there? But it's quite amazing when the wind does blow and you do funny things, like second shot in here when it's a 4 or 5 iron. You can trundle off into there. I reckon it's worth a sweetie if he gets down in 2 from here. Half hit it, didn't he? I mean, he was listening to you, you see. You said the last 10 or 12 feet, it gallops away. He must have been listening. There must have been a telly on out there. Couldn't be nerves, could it? No, just a little misjudgment. That's the 11th tee. And just swing around. And now, both players have had 2, and they're both about the same distance. In fact, Duval might be closest.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, Tiger, I think, is just a little bit closer.
Duval and Woods, 1 and 2 on the world's computer listings.
And in fact, if I was David Duval, I would want to be putting first.
As long as you could hold it. I always think it's nice to putt first if you hold it. Well, Duval to putt.
You know, Tiger's moved in there almost in the match play mode, hasn't he, Peter?
That's what it's become pretty well between these two. Although David Toms is a couple of shots behind, but really this is developing now into a classic match play between these two. For a birdie at the 10th. Hasn't hit it.
No, he quick stroked it. He just took it back a little short. Didn't wait for the putter to get all the way back and decelerated coming through.
Now, this length of putt that Tiger has is the one that he's been holding consistently for several weeks now. And they're so important. He's hold an awful lot of them, particularly in the US Open Championship for pars. Sorry, Jerry?
That's right. He's been very aggressive, Peter, on these putts over the week, and that's his style. If he misses a putt like this, it's going to go between 18 inches to almost 2 feet past the hole, and that's the type of putt he's going to need to hold this.
Well, he knows how big a moment this is. All the cameras and the radio men. A lot of service personnel here looking after our rovers on the course, carrying equipment, stewarding, marshalling. The Remy Golf Association here. Major Chadwick's not here. We miss him. At least Steve Cull does, and all the boys. Navy here. RAF. All watching the golf.
Oh, yes. Never a doubt, was it?
Well, it's, you know, cometh the moment, cometh the man, or whatever somebody once said, but it is amazing how when others sort of just slip and stumble, Tiger at the moment is in this wonderful mode where he gets the job done, and that was a massive, massive stroke there.
Well, as I said on the tee, Peter, that's a hole he had to birdie today. Had to make birdie at 10.
David Toms. Now, he's hit the most wonderful shot on, but it came back off the slope. This would be very good to two-putt from here, because he's got a solid wall of grass in front of him, which he's got to negotiate. Bill Mickelson had an eagle here in the second round. Good putt from there, David, but just moving to the right. Not bad. He could go to 13 under if he can nip that in. Look at the 11th. You see the room over the top of that bunker. All the bunkers have been chamfered off, revetted. You wonder if anyone gets in that top bunker there, but I tell you they do.
The old Strath bunker, and I'll tell you, you talk about the road bunker, but you get in the Strath bunker and you might as well walk in. That is some tough hazard.
B.J. Singh and Stuart Appleby, Robert Appleby, the only ones that have, Robert Allenby, the only ones that have managed to get twos on this 11th hole. Now this is a 9-iron. Now the wind's behind, so I fancy Tiger thinks that if he's really having a go at it, and this is where, if it comes off, great. But if he takes a 9 and gives it the full treatment, gets it in the end, it really doesn't fly. And if he's going at the flag, he could land, he might do, straight in the bunker. And then, of course, you think, well, I should have played off a bit left. The bunker, in fact, is maybe 5 or 6 yards to the left of the flag. I fancy he's going to bash it straight at the flag.
You know where that's going, Peter.
He likes it.
He loves it.
Oh, a little bold and no spin. Earlier we saw some coming back down the hill. No, he was hoping for a bit of no spin.
You know, Peter, we were talking about David Duval's strong grip. I remember talking to Butch Harmon a year ago about Tiger and what he was working on. He said, well, I'm trying to get him to weaken his grip. I think he's going to play a little better. Well, since then, he's won 11 tournaments in 12 months, including the PGA, the U.S. Open, and many, many other prestigious events in America. So he just continues to fine-tune his game. But this man right here, he can really strike a ball as well. That's a 9-iron. Really up in the air. Oh.
Well, he was looking for a little bit of backspin because you come over the top of the bunker and you're landing on the downslope. So it's very difficult to get stop. It's a fascinating hole, this 11th, and seen much drama over the years. It has been played with a putter in the past. Just knock it straight along the ground. It's been chipped along with a 3-iron, just knocking it as close to the ground as you possibly can when the gales do blow. But you don't want to be in that bunker there, or that one, or on the left-hand side. That's vicious, and the green slopes all the way down, and over the back drops down 15, 18 feet to roughish grass down towards the outer bounds by the estuary.
Yeah, David Toms now on the 12th for his birdie. Huge putt for Toms. No, he's just waving the putter there. Moved his head. You just got to stay still when you're under pressure putting those lengths of putts on the last day.
Well, their mistakes are just easing Tiger's way. Here's Freddie Couples. 10 under, 3 holes to go. Oh, it's just not going to climb up, is it? Stop though. 4 under today, couples.
Ernie Els's second shot on 14. We really thought he was going to burn this place to pieces after the first few holes. He may have missed his chance, but if he wants to keep going, he has to make a birdie here. 269 to go. The wind quite brisk now from the left-hand side. None of the bunkers come into play like hell, but there's one down near the green called Graves, which might come up and nab him if he happens to miss-hit it a little bit on the left. Tough pin position, though. Easily be the driver that Ernie used then. And it needs to run on a bit. It's just going to get to the bottom of the hill, and that's the end of it. Now he's got a really difficult shot to get near the flag. But it's coming down onto the flatter part, so he'll be quite pleased with that. That was about maximum.
Second shot for Thomas Bjorn on the 12th, a long chip and run. Coming from a perfect angle on this par 4. Should now just climb the rise, and the pin is about 5 paces beyond that, and that's beautifully judged by Thomas. Not driving the hole, but giving himself a very good chance for another birdie.
Well, and there it is, a look down to the 11th. River Eden in the background. And this man could be the greatest of all times. Could be, but only history will let us know that. Pretty fast putt, breaking just to his left. He'll set it out about a foot and just feed it down the hill. Just let the slope take it to the hole. Now it'll start to turn into the left if he hit it. No. But he was just trying to lag that, Peter.
Well, that was a very good putt. It was awkward. He's 4 strokes ahead.
And I think the greens are really in good shape. I mean, they are very, very typical links greens. They were accused of anorexic greenskeeping earlier in the week. They haven't put any food on them for 10 years, no fertilizer on this golf course, and they seldom water.
Eagle putt for Darren Clark on the 12th, but difficult. There's a rise of about 3 foot halfway to the hole, and that could throw the ball to the right quite considerable amount. He's not easy to judge, but he's done that very well. Almost a certain birdie for Darren, getting back charging again. Young man from Northern Ireland.
With Tom's 13th.
Well, David Toms hit a very nice tee shot, but unfortunately he's put himself in absolute dire straits. The pin on this hole is only cut about 6 yards over that rough area where he's pitched into, and obviously he was trying to be very delicate with it, but just seems as though he's realised he's in contention for a major, and it just looks as though the pressure's starting to get to him a little bit.
Well, I think it's getting to a number of them, and some of the big players, particularly Ernie Els, missed a great opportunity in the second round of not putting a better round together. Duval down the hill, right to left, pace so important. Get it out wide. No. Just like Tigers, turned away. Both of them had very difficult putts. That's a par. And Duval moves across to the 12th hole. Wind's just changed a little bit, but it's still drivable. Tiger's still got a little one to tap in for his par.
Well, and there you see Woods 18 Duval, 14 4 back. It's going to be tough to catch him with Toms and Bjorn 12. And Ernie Els just cruising along at 11, but with a chance to make birdie at 14.
Thomas Bjorn. And another one just lipping out for Thomas. He's had one or two good putts, but he's had quite a few today that have just slipped past the cup. And he stays at 12 under. And now he shares third place with David Toms. We look out to find the 12th tee, this par 4 that measures 314 yards, the Eden Estuary in the background. The tide is coming in, so too the tide of people, as you can see them moving up the back to follow on this final match. Now Tiger yesterday drove through the green, over the back. Ernie Els, well, this hole must have, if anyone said that Ernie lost the Open Championship, he lost it right here. He's had a terrible time on this hole yesterday and today. He got out of it with a 4 today, but with a penalty shot. Now, Tiger, can he drive it?
You're the man, Tiger!
Oh, that idiot.
Fuck down! Go!
He certainly doesn't need any help, does he, to encourage him along? Good, stay, stop him if it holds there. Oh, I'm afraid. What a difference it makes, you see, if the ball stays up on the same level, but now he has to play angularly across it. Quiet smile. Growing. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, compression of the lips, but not a smile. Good pair there. Steve Williams, New Zealander. Now Duval, David Duval. Trailing by 4.
Good ball, David!
He thinks it's gone a little bit to the right, I think. It has. Which way will it go? You see the grass has just about walked and dried itself away into the hollow. Not too bad, you see, as he plays over this little ridge, some soft green grass. Not easy. And just as I introduce you to my friend Ken Brown, who's joined me, and we go to see Ernie Els. Ken?
Thank you, Alex. It's going to be a very interesting couple of hours just to see what's going to happen. They've all got the 17th yet to play. Ernie Els with an outside eagle chance. He's made the top of the hill. And pace-wise, that's about as good as he could do.
David Toms, it looks as if his luck in this championship has run out. He's missed a couple of putts of under 4 feet now with a dreadful lie here at the 13th, but he's done pretty well. Still 10 or 11 feet away. So impressive yesterday and indeed today. He was out in 32 and then he's had one bogey coming home. Peter Allis was talking about all of the military who were involved in this hole, the 12th that we're on right now, is actually being marshaled by the Royal Navy, and it's the first time that the Royal Navy has been involved with an Open Championship. So there you are, the senior service. Now what about this green? It has a strange plateau. It's coming in from around a tee, and here you get it. There's the plateau right on the top, the slope off. Tiger Woods' ball nearly hung on. You can see how the slope drifts down, and there the pin on a pretty awkward space. David Duval's going to come in from the top left of your picture, so he has a few undulations before he reaches it. And Tiger Woods is way out of the bottom right of your picture. And with the putter in his hand, it's considerably easier. And I think you can see the undulations. The slopes that come off the front here of this green here, dropping down into that valley, there's about a 4-foot drop down there, which makes it very difficult. And then across the top here is the other side of that ridge that you were seeing. So if he hits it too hard, you can end up going from one side to the other quite regularly here. Massive crowds, and it must be very difficult now for the crowd control. The players must be protected, but I'm sure some of the spectators would like to get in on the fairway behind this last match. And there's no one coming out in the other direction. Ken, you're pretty much a master of the chip and putt, chip and run business. What do you think here? Look at the lie there in the swing.
Well, he's got a perfect lie for playing any type of shot he'd like to play. He's also coming almost straight up the little rampart at the front, which makes it a little bit easier. But judgment's always difficult because down the other side it runs away and there's only 5 yards to work with. Fourteenth Ernie Els for his birdie. Things looking a little difficult for Ernie, back at 11 under now.
High camera gives us an excellent view. Now you can see the pin there just on the left, how narrow the strip is that Duval enjoys. And it wouldn't be so bad if he was chipping into a hollow which was more or less a level hollow. It has undulations all of its own. Now, Julian Tutt is down there. What do you think, Julian?
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things at the moment climatically is that you'll probably notice the sun's gone. And we've now got a solid mass of grey cloud. And the wind actually has got quite chilly. Duval's now got a long sleeve sweater on. I don't suppose it's going to have much effect on the outcome, though.
No, he could still be a bit hot under the collar, despite the fact that he's got a jersey on. Now watch where he goes now. He's walking right along his own line. That's not to do anything to the green, but at that point the green drops away from him again before it comes up a very severe. He's almost considering that it might go a little bit right to left.
All right.
He's got to work out exactly where he wants to land this ball. The first bounce is absolutely vital. If he gets a shooter forward, it'll go over the back. If it just sits up on him, he won't make the top of the rise.
Get up.
Stay there.
It's not going to stay, I'm afraid. It is not going to stay. It was a big mistake. He's now very little better off than he was when he played it. The one thing he had to do was find the top level. In every championship there seems to be a moment, doesn't there? And that might have been it. John Paramore there moving just across the referee with this match. Referees from all over the world have come. There's Big John.
Just trying to work out who is first to play. Obviously Tiger would like to go first. Tiger's birdied this hole every day. I think it's the first time he's actually found the putting surface, though. Other days he's been over the back and to the right of the green.
Kenneth, he played a shot yesterday from sort of 20 yards over the green and just died it beautifully on the top, and it ran up absolutely stiff.
Alex, I think it's fascinating. While Tiger was waiting for Duval to play yet again, he got Steve Williams to bring his towel over, and he used it to wipe his shoes because there's so much dust around. It just shows what an immaculate young man he is in every respect. He doesn't want to win this with dirty shoes. Incidentally, of course, he's now at 18 under par, which is Nick Faldo's championship winning total, record total from 1990 here.
Yes, he's a walking example of how you would want John Paramore coming to make a ruling. Actually, you can see there. It's at least 18 inches further away, no problem at all. But Tiger, an example for anyone. And everything, his swing, he's got the finest golf swing I've ever seen. He thinks better than just about anyone. Maybe Jack Nicklaus was as good in the brain department, but immaculate in his turnout. You see all these guys with the baggy, ugly trousers and the hats the wrong way around, and then you see this young fella who does it all better than them and looks the part, the model for the profession. Now he's going to have to come up out of that hollow and take a little bit of a right to left break as he starts up the hill. And then you can see how this golf course has been prepared for over a year for this millennium and hardly watered. It wouldn't last many more days. You can see how it's turning brown. The greenkeeper will be dying to get some water on it. But they wanted a lynx, and they got a lynx, and these fellas have handled it like a lynx.
Always difficult to judge the line of these putts when there's a slope just in front of you. If you get it wrong, it can wander a long way off your target.
Very good putt from Tiger Woods to within 2.5 feet. Wonderful piece of architecture. If you designed a green like that for anyone now, they'd think you'd gone off your head. That little plateau there, it's only defense too. That's what they keep saying about the old courses, St Andrews. It's only defense, the deep bunkers, and then it's only defense is the undulating greens. This is 314, a par 4, and they can hit it in 1. But there are a few who come off in 5, having hit it in nearly 1. And Duval struggling, looking at it from every direction, and everywhere you go you get a different borrow. See, the first part of his putt is downhill, and it's right to left for the first 8 feet, and then the big slope will make it left to right a huge amount. There you see, out to his caddy's shoes.
Hold still, back in the bleachers, please. Thank you.
Everyone getting ready to make a rush down the next fairway, and those that are still wearing steel spikes clattering on the grandstand.
Currently leads by 4 shots. Of course, doesn't want to get this one storming past and drop a stroke.
Well, he could easily drop a shot, although he's here in 2 at the par 4. There's the big break from the left, and he could quite easily take 5, drop a shot. Tiger could birdie, and just a huge 2-shot swing. If Tiger goes to 19 under, he's one better than Nick Faldo's record at that, and Duval would drop back if he missed it to 13. A 5-shot might be just more than many or any could ever recover. Tiger knows that. Yeah, 6-shot difference that would be. I'll get my sums right. Just being asked to move the marker, that'll give you an idea. If he asks them to move the marker to the right, the break is left to right. There's a sort of eerie silence out here at the far corner of the course, and this is all because if there was a challenge, a real serious threat, it could be coming to an end. Wonderful start David Duval had. 1, 2, 3, 4 birdies he had in the space of 6 holes, out in 32. 3 shots he picked up. He picked up half of the deficit in the first 9, but then Tiger's come back with 2 threes and looks like getting another one. This is a left to right putt. It's a break of about a foot out on that side, and it's for a par 4, and he's unhappy.
Got a new putter this week, or a fairly new one. He shortened it by an inch or so and allowed him to have his arms hang down a bit more naturally, and he's putted pretty well all week, but this is an absolutely vital one if he's going to have any chance of taking the title. Well, he drops back to 13 under. Can't believe it didn't break. The first shot he's dropped since day 2 on the 17th.
Glad to see that mark going back. We had that with Bobby Locke, who won the championship here. Moved to the side at the 18th, forgot to move it back. Nobody noticed at the time, and when it was reported, the RNA decided he had no gain, and he kept the championship. Tom Lehman did it at Royal Troon just a couple of years ago. There's a very important birdie 3. This hole has been as kind to him as it's been cruel to Ernie Els, and now he's birdied it every day. That's 19 under and a 5-shot lead.
Just about to be a 6-shot lead.
Exactly.
Well, he has got a 6-shot lead. We know he's dropped a stroke. Terrific looking card once again from Tiger Woods. No drop shots and 3 birdies.
Ken, it's taken nearly 15 minutes to play this hole, and it's probably the littlest par 4 on the course almost anywhere. And that's a 6-shot margin, and he is 13 under. 3 under for the round today, and looking as if he was 3 over. Now everyone alters. Get the leader. Thomas Bjorn doing very well indeed. Tied for 3rd place with Els and Toms. And that's very good playing from the Dane. They've done a wonderful job, the scoring, keeping everyone informed. What about this one, Ken?
I think he might just be far enough from the lip. They all experimented. It's about a yard away. You can just about get it up. Freddie. He's done it. Top quality, landing softly. Super shot from Fred Couples. Every chance of saving his par.
Thomas Bjorn at the 13th hole. And that's a pretty good putt.
Tee, and Tiger Woods with a 3-wood. He's played it the same way every day, left of the coffin bunkers. In fact, you could throw a blanket over his previous 3 drives. And it again. It just takes off the camber of those. Maybe, oh, he's been lucky there. Obviously had a hard bounce and somehow managed to get over that deep bunker. Caddy said, good shot. Unusual swing, this one, Alex, isn't it?
Oh, I think when you say unique, it is unique. If you watch his head, I've never seen anyone do this as fast as this. He's a shortish backswing, but watch his head as he turns to look at the fairway, almost as he hits the ball. And it's even more emphasized when he plays an iron shot. Well now, I think that pitched straight in the face, into the revetted face. I might be wrong. Often am, but I think he's down there. And if he is, then he's definitely in trouble. I think I can just see it. Yeah, I can just see the top of it. Struck the face of the bunker, jumped back. Just got out of it a little bit early that time, even earlier than he normally does. There's the ball. And the members, of course, of BIGA, the British and International Greenkeepers Association, they've been raking. They have a competition every day to see how many bunkers were raked on a day, averaging about 180 a day. Be a bit less on the last two.
Bjorn for his par. Oh no. So drops the stroke at the 13th. He's back now at 11 under, and they're all just slowly gifting it to Tiger. Hardly gifting it, but they're making his life a lot easier.
Ken, over the opening few holes, it was just a succession of birdies from everyone as they made their challenges, but somehow they seem to be petering out now. Here's David Toms now at 11. 11 under par. But he's had 2 bogeys. He's just having a string of bogeys now coming at him, and we were watching him last evening, and I was really surprised that he's only won 3 events in his career, because he's such a beautiful player.
Daniels down the left of 16, 149 to the front. He really doesn't want to go much further than that. He really has been very disappointed. He's missed, certainly that I've been counting, 8 putts of under 10 feet in this round, which is a fair indication of the result of his score. Having started so well, he's now petering out, I'm afraid. And 3 putting down 14 certainly didn't help his cause. This is a difficult shot through the left to righter, with Wig bunker waiting for him if he underhits it. So it's this could be a difficult hole for all concerned.
Mr. Toms for a birdie. Another one slipping by. So hasn't had a birdie on the back 9. He was out in 32. Birding 6, 7, 8 and 9, but no luck on the back 9.
David Duval considering his options. Julian's there.
Well, although David Duval is quite a long way back from the face of the bunker in the coffins, there's no way he can reach the green, so he's just playing out short. He's still going to have probably 150 yards to the green from there.
Hasn't had the breaks really round the loop, David Duval, and now he must be asking the question, what does he need to do to take the title? Not impossible. He's got the par 5 14th to come. He's also got the 17th. Tiger's yet to play that. Tiger has this sort of almost irrational belief in his own invincibility. See the flag there, just to the right of his cap. High, faded shot coming in from a huge elevation. Very safe shot, right into the centre of the putting surface. Doesn't need to take any risks at all.
Well, it really does look as though that coffin might have been curtains for Duval. He's got 143 still to the pin now. Tremendous rivalry between these two. They've actually become very good friends, but competitively they want to beat each other so badly, and Duval certainly came into this round probably knowing that he couldn't win it, but certainly wanting to shoot the lower score on the day.
Saw the wind there, Julian. The wind is coming in at less than 8 miles an hour, and that's about as windy as it's been all week. We'll just show you in alphabetical order how all of the players have done or are doing. Straight over the bunker now, the third shot. That's a good shot, very well played, made it bite. And there is David Duval. Ernie at 11. And there is Nick Faldo, who finished the championship under par.
Els has decided what club and the type of shot he's going to play into 16. And hit right on the shoulder at the front of the green. Horrible, hard, firm first bounce.
Here's Freddie Couples at the 18th hole. Freddie, who needs a 4 to be back at 35. He's got it, and that's a round of 69 for Fred. 9 under par. 9th place, 9 under.
Adds to his top 10 collections at the British Open for Fred Couples. Look at Steve Flesh. Very well done. The little area between the two bunkers, only some 15 paces from front to back, and it's like concrete, and managed to stop the ball on it. Flesh currently at 9 under.
Now Darren Clark has found a bunker, and he's managed to play quite a good shot there, just to the surprise of Mrs. Lewis, who's out there on the course. Darren Clark at 10 under. We'll have a look at the 13th green. That huge pot bunker that's just at the front right, that was the one that I thought might concern Duval. The green slopes right off to the front edge, and you can see how close the pin is at that front side. And wisely, Tiger played to the left of it into the open part of the green. The 13th shared with the 5th, so there's an acre of land away to the left, and no margin or any need to make a mistake. Now you can see the putt that he's left himself. A good 18-yarder or so up the slope, up the hill, the one you'd want. You have a 6-shot lead. And that's a good putt. I hear the engines of an aircraft overhead. There was an old DC-3 Dakota went across just an hour ago. I don't know if it's that on its way back. Doesn't exactly sound like a tornado. 19 under par for Tiger. Oh, it wasn't.
It's one of the caddies going home.
Now David Duval, who has to hold this for a 4.
Hold back there.
And because this is the last match on the course, people moving about trying to get themselves in, others de-rigging out there in the corner. All of the old hot dog stands and things, ice cream parlors that are all out there, they're all got to come home. They've probably already given it to Tiger. A good bid, a good try. A good try for 4, but now things are not working at all. That's another bogey. He put in a great bid. He really did threaten. He got to within 3 shots. He halved the deficit. But it always seems to come, Peter, like a sort of body blow, doesn't it? One little mistake and suddenly everything sort of dies for you.
It certainly does, and here's one of them. It's diver Ernie Els. I thought he would maintain his challenge. He's in third place, but he's 8 shots behind at the moment. I think that's been one of the disappointing things about this championship, is the fact that I mean, we've got a tremendous field here, and none of them have really managed to put any stress on the best player in the world. They've come here and they've played below par, below their games, and made elementary mistakes. The conditions have been pretty good. You wouldn't say they were anyway difficult, and they haven't been up to the challenge.
David Toms is at the 15th. His third shot. Up onto the top. Will it come on? Yes, that's not too bad.
All the crowds coming down the edge of the 14th, and all making their way up to the clubhouse, hoping to be able to get a view of the final scenes as Tiger gets ready to unleash one. It's gone right a bit, I think. It looks as if it's gone a little bit right over on our left. Well, there it is. Safe enough. He looked a bit anxious. I thought he may have just gone a little bit down the right. It's a massive drive. Duval struck the ball so very well for the first 8, 9, 10 holes, and then just couldn't keep it going. Good drive also. Very good.
I would think that both players there, Peter, can get up comfortably with the second shot. We'll just have a look at this 14th, 581 from the elevated tee, and his name is long for obvious reasons, but all the way down the right-hand side is an old stone dike, and the spectators to the right of it. You play out into the sort of open space, the widest point that you can. You don't want to get tied up in the Beardy's bunkers. That's those on the left. The wind's against, believe me, they're in play. But from here now, you soar, if you can, over the hell bunker. There it is, into this flat, and then hope for a bit of a kick from right to left. And as I say, those players are both within 250 yards of the flag, and I'm pretty certain that they will cut loose. And Tiger hit it yesterday quite comfortably with the 3, and Duval's hit an even longer tee shot. And the huge galleries, record crowds, I'm sure, when they add the figure today, which is not known to us yet, to the 180,000 we've had, it'll be a record.
Well, Paulson played a perfect tee shot. He's got a long way to go into the wind. He had 175 yards to the flag. And, well, the thing is, the wind's making it very difficult to make a really good pass at the ball. But, you know, he's just tootling along, really, like most of the players seem to be at the moment. I think they've all been a bit disillusioned with Tiger. The atmosphere down here is a little bit, you know, it's a bit down at the moment. I don't think there's that electric atmosphere that you normally get at the Open. I think once Tiger starts getting into the arena of the 17th and 18th, the atmosphere will pick up again. But at the moment, it's a little bit flat out here.
Yes, I think that's fair comment from Gary Wolstenholme out on there's nobody challenging. We're watching a great piece of golfing history here with Tiger Woods. Surely nothing can go wrong now, and he will become the 5th person to win all the majors. And I was talking to Steve Ryder about it as well. I'd forgotten I was actually there when, I think I finished in the first 10 when Hogan won at Canusi in '53. So I've Hogan, player, Nicholas, and if this fella makes it today, I'll have seen and been at 4 of the venues where this particular bit of history has been made, which it's amazing how these things slip your mind.
Hold up, camera people, thank you.
Tiger's got 270 left at the front of the green. He's going with a 3 with the ball sitting down in a very slight depression. It's not a divot, just sitting down a little bit. He's going to have to really whack this because it's into the wind and from the left as well. Just to the left of the scoreboard behind the green.
Well, we've been watching him hit these shots on the practice ground every day. He's been practicing this low driven 3-wood shot, and will it appear it only had to get to the top of this hill to go down to the flag, but I know where it is now. It's gone down the little valley back down to the fairway hollow, but we have watched it. He's birdied it every day
No
this week.
pictures, please. Thank you.
Now David Duval, who hit the very long tee shot. There's a white dot just ahead of him, 250 to the front of the green from that white dot up there. This is his metal 3. He's played a different kind of shot. He's played a higher shot, should drop it into the right of the pin, a little bit of cut and take the bank. Here it comes. No, it doesn't. It only came halfway up the bank, and now it's on its way back down. Down in the hollow. And you'll see the awkward little shot. You'll have some fun and games here playing that one. That is not mine.
Bjorn, second at the 15th. His tee shot came to rest up against a little chair, but he got a free drop and replacement from that. Disappointing for Thomas Bjorn. He sort of had it going round about the turn. He birdied the 9th, and one thought he could have got a birdie at 10. He almost drove that, and unfortunately fallen away again. Just 3-putted the 13th. And really, just like Gary was saying, no one out here is charging, and it is quite quiet out here. And Clark the same, not really playing his best.
Well, this could be the last throw of the dice for Ineos for this championship. 155 to the front, coming out of this lie, which is quite lush and could fly. And very sensibly, he plays the low running shot up, which hopefully is going to hold its line and then run up the green. Go on, round to the left of it, round to the left of it. Very well thought out indeed by Ernie.
Beautifully played. And I'm always amazed why we don't see more shots played like that when the conditions are like this. Because you do have a chance of running the ball up the green. Els at 11 under, tied with Bjorn, 3rd place at the moment.
Up to the 18th green, and Bernhard Langer, who's under par. Well, he's got this putt for a 3 to be under par today. And there he is. He's had a 7 in his card. Would you believe that? At that 14th that the Tiger Woods is on now, Bernhard got a 7. But he's got it round at 71 because he never gives up. And he's 7 under for the championship.
Tiger's actually on the green, bottom of the slope, with not too difficult a putt. See how the arrows run away, slope at the front, off at the back. But as we've had really no wind this week, and it's what we have had has come from the same, more or less the same direction all the time, we've not seen a frightening St Andrews at all, and I'm in a way surprised that the scoring hasn't been much lower by more of the field. Tiger's got a chance of playing every round under 70 if he can finish with 4s in from here, but the rest really haven't shown us too much of their massive skills.
Peter, you remember when Tony Lima won here, he learned to do all the bump and run shots. This one in particular, if Duval takes a putter, he would have had to go up here to take the curves to get down to the flag. It's as crooked as that. As it is, he's got an iron in his hand, which means he will have to arc it and kill it on that bank before it goes over the top. Now, you might say, oh, well, with his skill, he might throw it all the way. If he does, then it'll be worth applause, but all of the locals would frown upon it. There it is. Can you see it even from then? I would see a local taking it up over here and down the green that way. There's no question about it. I think he's going to try and kill it on the bank there and then over the top. And you can see as he swings back how he's hooding the club face, which means not height. He doesn't want height, he wants low, and there he's done that one. That was a pretty good shot.
You know, Tiger's not got so many problems with the directional line of the putt. It's relatively straight. The thing is to get it up the hill and then judge it so that it doesn't go 8 or 9 feet past.
Well, Lauren Roberts has played a perfect tee shot here. He's got a lovely angle into the flag. Got 185 yards to the pin. Wind's coming off his left, and the problem is that it's likely to leak slightly off to the right, but he's played a lovely shot there, and I think we'll have a nice nice birdie putt. But he's a long way back, but at least he's keeping the crowds cheerful.
Yes, and he's at 10 under. He's sharing 5th place with Tom Lehman at the moment.
Here's a good view of Tiger's shot. He's going to go just, well, it's pretty straight. Well, he may not be being challenged by the others, but he's showing us enough variety of things to keep even the most miserable one happy. He's really shown us why he's I think probably he intimidates them. I hate using that word, but I don't know why he just seems to get on with it, as Hogan used to do. Henry Cotton for a spell used to do it. Jones certainly did. Nicholas.
Tom Lehman at the 17th. A terrifying tee shot at any stage of the event. Straight over the old sheds. I must say they made it look very easy this year. I remember watching Arnold Palmer here. Peter, you remember 1978 when he drove it past the hotel roof into the Jigger Inn it went?
Dude, I know. Duval for a birdie. No. Seems to have had the stuffing taken out of him in the last hour. Just a couple of putts that just missed, and a little bit of misfortune here. But he's in 2nd place at the moment. First prize is £500,000, £500,000, 300,000, 190, 140. 10th is £55,000. So the prize money, though huge, drops away pretty quickly. And the last player, the 70th player, gets £7,000 for his 4 days' work here for the championship. It's another birdie for Tiger. Wow.
Peter, I think that Nick Faldo was pretty confident that his 18 under par record was going to be destroyed, and it certainly has, unless something silly happens. But here's Ernie Els. It'd be nice to get a nice 3 here. been Ernie's day when he started out like a shot from a gun.
Thomas Bjorn. Has he gone left or has he gone right? He's gone. Oh. All right. That's ideal. We're all heading back home now, or around the 18th, so they can see the final scenes. Just a moment to say hello to my old chum Peter Stebbings, who's started up a new club in South Wales, Cwmbran. Well, go for it, Stebby, old boy. Yeah, good teacher, one of the best. We were lucky to have him in that neck of the woods. Tiger now.
He's just missed the fairway right there. It's okay, it's perfectly playable, but he's just slightly blocked out by the mound on the right-hand side of the fairway.
Well, you can see he's only just a pace or two off the fairway, and he seems to give it such a vicious smash. It's amazing how straight he goes. Now Duval. That's a good one. Well, we're on the verge of seeing history made of that, I'm sure, unless some terrible thing befalls Tiger Woods over the closing holes.
To the 16th green, and David Toms. He hasn't had a lot going for him now. He's got a 30-yarder. This will help. he's missed all the little ones, and then he's holed that monster of a putt. I think the galleries like him, and that birdie 3 brings him to 10 under, so everything is improving the financial state of affairs.
The final hole for Ernie Els. It's clouded over and it's got a little bit chillier, though Ernie is impervious to the chill wind, but that's a good drive, right bang up the middle.
Well, Tom Lehman on the 17th hit the perfect tee shot, absolutely an ideal position. He's got a nice shot into the flag, ideal for his shape of shot, which tends to be a draw. He's got 190 yards to the flag now. I'm expecting into the breeze for him to try possibly to play it almost the whole way, but we shall see. He's watching it carefully, and I'm not quite sure. It looks as though it's going to be very close to being perfect, I think. Excellent shot from Tom Lehman. This hole's really made for him.
It's always nice when you have that kind of hole, and the fact that he swings the ball right to left. You can almost see as you look back down that green how he followed the contour of the fairway, and the pin is right absolutely smack behind the road bunker, so he's played a great shot in there.
Drive from Clark on the 16th, leaving him a second shot of 199 yards to the flag. That's a 4 or 5 iron, I think he'll have to play from there, into the wind and against from the left.
Good shot from Clark, who's played some good stuff, like so many. Got off to a super start, 2 threes in the first 3 holes, and then just steady stuff. Only 1 birdie since then. Level par for the day.
Thomas Bjorn. And another fine iron shot, but will it stay? I think so. I think it will. Thomas at 11 under. He shares 3rd place with Ernie Els, and
We're 145 front.
Seeing whose shot it is. Tiger's just off the fairway, can see everything he wants to, I'm sure.
Us? Over there.
We're heading at this distance.
Yeah, over there on the 13th hole, you hit that 165.
Yeah, perfect.
It's just the same shot as that right here.
Yeah. Tiger's got the long sleeve sweater on now, so it's got very grey and really quite chilly. Needs to carry it 167 to land on the right level.
God, dog it. Oh, catch the screen. Catch it.
Well, he pushed that. He was anticipating it being a lot worse than it ended up. It's not bad, actually, particularly when you're 8 shots ahead.
Well, David Toms made an excellent birdie at the 16th, which is why he's teeing off the 17th first, and he's played a marvellous tee shot right down the middle, very close to where Tom Lehman was. Hopefully that'll just build him up a little bit. The crowd certainly enjoyed seeing the birdie. They were glad to do some clapping to keep their hands warm out here.
Ernie Els's second shot to the final hole. Oh, what a shame. Just too much spin, but my goodness, what a reception he got walking down the 18th. He is such a hugely popular character in Scotland and all the way around the world, and the crowd really gave him a tremendous ovation.
Ernie Els, of course, winner of the US Open Championship, United States Championship, 94 and 97. That would dearly like to get his hands on the claret jug here, and I think for a stage today he thought he might have done so, but you can see with Woods sitting at the top there with an 8-shot lead. It was 15 shots he won the US Open with. Some years ago, 12 he won the US Masters. Here's Duval at the 15. Very nice, very good iron shot there from Duval. Not stop trying. If you can't win it, it's better you get in there at second than share. There's a whole host of people threatening third place.
Lauren Roberts. 2 holes left. 10 under. 3 of them at 10 under at the moment. Toms, Lehman and Roberts. Now that's a good line in from there. Very nice.
Ernie Els in the Valley of Sin, unfortunately, not where he wanted to be at all. He's got a tough putt. There he goes over the ridge. Is he going to get there?
Darren Clark at the 16th for a 3. You get the feeling that everyone looks a bit tired and weary. They've sort of, well, we knew Tiger was going to win. He's 8 shots ahead. And there's a bit of lethargy creeping in. Everyone looks as if they're ready to hit the high road. Quite extraordinary, the atmosphere, how things change at championships over the years. I've seen them all, electrifying things. You see the undulations, which way they run. All feeding down to the hole. but they never seem to do that when you're on the green and you think it's feeding down and it turns t'other way.
And Tiger's putt reasonably straight. There's not a big break here. He can almost go straight up through that valley. He's allowed a bit from the right to the left. He knew what he was doing, didn't he? He knew just at the end it would die. He is some 24-year-old, this one. He's just done about everything in the Grand Slam at this age, the youngest ever to join that elite band. We have got to assume that he's going to win this one now.
It's amazing, Alex, too, when you think how many great players there have been that never completed the Grand Slam. Arnold Palmer never won the US PGA. Snead never won the US Open. I suppose the same in tennis. You get them winning 3 legs of the Grand Slam, and they don't win or can't win in Paris or Australia or New York or Wimbledon. Yet they're great, 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 great champions. So the defining line is so very, very slender. You've got to have the game, and you've got to have the good fortune on the day, or somebody else has got to have misfortunes. Well, you've just had a series of players here who have not struck their best consistent form.
It's almost hard to believe, isn't it, that David Duval has not yet won any major. Yet he had a run where he won like 11 events, almost in succession. This for a 3. Son of a golf professional. He's certainly taken his training very seriously. He's so much lighter in weight, and you can see the difficulty. Even having lost that weight, it hasn't helped his back any. They're in aeroplanes so much, these fellas. He flew in from the United States overnight, played in Ireland in the Pro-Am, over to the Standard Life Loch Lomond, then over to here. It's just non-stop. For a 4. Oh, that nearly went. He nearly fell out on the line that Tiger's ball turned. But he's safe in second place so far.
So just 3 holes left.
Now Ernie Els, please hold this one. Everyone in the surrounding area would like this in. Well done. And you can hear the response, 69. When you think of the opportunities that have escaped today, he still gets it round in 3 under par and is now sharing 3rd place.
David Toms, 2nd at the 17th. Finds the green. Seen very few people go in the bunkers all week. They've been frightened out going anywhere near them, but usually have a bit of sport watching them in there, but not so. Tiger sticking to his routine. Placement, iron shot from the tee. Right down on top, drills down on it. Perfect.
Peter, I think this hole, having been lengthened by getting on towards 40 yards, which has helped the course's length, it's made it a better golf hole. That the bunkers there, which were always right in the way, and there's still a challenge if you want to hit a wooden club and go through the gap. But a fellow like Tiger, what's the point of taking it on? It just leaves a slightly longer second shot, but one that's easier to control. Duval's got the same policy. Principal's Nose, the name of the 3 traps in a cluster. be bunkers, not traps. And it's just wandering its way out a little bit left of center. And there are the bunkers, Principal's Nose. There's one right up by the front left of the green called Wig. And that's a terrifying one. That's the one that almost brought Nick Faldo's challenge to a stop when he caused him to take 6 here on the second day, when he was going so well.
16th hole. Out of bounds all the way down the right-hand side. Lengthened to 424 yards. And I can't stress enough the difference the wind makes from here. It's blown from the east pretty well all week, more or less the same direction, and really not strong enough, and it hasn't presented any great problems for these players. 16th green shared with the second. The familiar slopes in front and fall off the back, and the humps and the bumps. But whatever else has happened, it's been a fascinating week to be here at St Andrews. We had glorious weather, record sales for everybody, and I think record enjoyment in many ways, and a piece of history being served up for us by Tiger Woods at this moment, who now is allowing himself the luxury of just knowing that he's going to win, and for that he must be very pleased, and I'm sure, Ken Brown, you're very delighted to have been here when history's been made.
Yes, it's been a splendid week, Peter. Think of all the great champions that have run around St Andrews. He's also going to be holding the British Open and the US Open. The last person to do that was Tom Watson in the same year. It's also amazing to think how many he wins by each time these major championships.
Now Thomas Bjorn is going to launch one over the corner, flirt along the edge of the hotel. That's a big drive. Bjorn at 11 under is jointly in 3rd place at the moment. Darren Clark, 6 at the 14th. Knocked him back a little bit, and a number of opportunities just couldn't convert. That's been the story of most of the competitors. The British contingent, well, they really never got going.
Ahead on the green, Lauren Roberts for his par. It's amazing how slow it is behind the hole at the 17th. But even par for the round, 9 under for the championship.
David Duval is really short off the tee on 16 and a long way left. He's left himself a very tricky second shot with the wind off the left, and all the ground to the left of the pin tends to feed the ball to the right. So to actually, he's got 211 to the pin, 186 to the front, and he's only got to go 8 paces beyond, and he runs off down the slope down the back from where it's very difficult to putt.
Well, Duval holds second place at the moment. Oh, that was a serious misjudgment there. And if that just it may just stop on the edge of the bunker. Yes, well short, in fact. And just saying that he's got the job of holding on to finish in second place. Ernie Els has already set the numbers at 11 under. Thomas Bjorn has an opportunity of passing that. We've seen people finish 3-3 here before. No birdies at the 17th so far today. And so, with Tom Lehman finishing at 10 under, this man is totally in control. Woods, second shot at the 16th. That's a super shot over the flag. Will it stop? Well, both of them a bit out there, Ken.
Yes, pretty well struck. Very difficult to judge a little bit in the crosswind there. Woods now can really enjoy the final few holes. He's still got the 17th to come. We've seen a few major problems that he can play in a defensive way and just front right of the green and pitch and putt from there.
Here is Tom's for a 5 at the 17th. Tom's to 9 under. I think with the big lead that Tiger Woods has, no matter where he put it, he would, with his golfing brain, be able to get out of trouble.
Lehman for a birdie at the 18th. Spot on line. It looks like a closing 70 for him. No drop strokes. 2 birdies. .68, 70, 70, and a closing 70. 10 under, and a great week for Tom Lehman.
Well, Thomas Bjorn just waiting for the players on the 18th to tee off. But surveying his shot, he's got a shot of 187 yards to the flag. He won't be going for that. He'll play right of that, I believe. Interesting to see if he punches a shot in low or whether he tries to fly it the whole way. Needs a birdie just to chase Duval into second place. Missed a golden opportunity a couple of holes ago. It's a hard pin to attack though. All the danger over the back, and he's hit a low punch shot, and he's actually, well, I don't know if he did that on purpose. He's pulled that way left of the green. Maybe he did, but I don't know. He'll probably tell us he did mean it, but he has got a way back to the hole from there. Pretty flat, that side of the green. We've seen 1 or 2 players play the hole this way this week, so it's still hard work to get a birdie from there, and that's what he really needs.
Paulson with a chance for a closing birdie 3. This would give him a level 4s round of 72. Dennis. 73 blows. Disappointing final day.
Shot of 187 yards to the flag. He won't be going for that. He'll play right of that, I believe. Interesting to see if he punches a shot in low or whether he tries to fly it the whole way. Needs a birdie just to chase Duval into second place. Missed a golden opportunity a couple of holes ago. It's a hard pin to attack though. All the danger over the back, and he's hit a low punch shot, and he's actually, well, I don't know if he did that on purpose. He's pulled that way left of the green. Maybe he did, but I don't know. He'll probably tell us he did mean it, but he has got a way back to the hole from there. Pretty flat, that side of the green. We've seen 1 or 2 players play the hole this way this week, so it's still hard work to get a birdie from there, and that's what he really needs.
Paulson with a chance for a closing birdie 3. This would give him a level 4s round of 72. Dennis. 73 blows. Disappointing final day, particularly started so well with birdies at the first and the second. Couldn't stamp the advantage in on the closing hole, so 7 under.
th green. Ken, this is an interesting shaped green, isn't it?
Yes, it seems to throw the ball off at all angles. Very difficult to get the ball adjacent to the flag. You've got to carry it over the little front parapet at the front of the putting surface, and it runs away at the back, so most players are just trying to find the back portion, the back right portion of the putting surface.
Duval, he's made a couple of misjudgments. with his seconds into the green. Caught a bunker off the tee, just little slipped a shot here and there.
Extraordinary air out here, of levity almost amongst the crowd. All the tension has gone out of it now. It's as if they're just waiting for the king to be crowned.
Well, that's about it, Julian, I think, with an 8-shot lead. And it's been one of the most remarkable championships that I've ever been to, and I've been to a few as a player and a watcher and a talker. About 50, I suppose, over the years, and I've never quite seen one like this. There's usually been a challenge. When you think of the championships here, Nicklaus and Doug Sanders, Nicklaus and Simon Owen, yes, Faldo marched away with it, but playing magnificent golf, but there was always a sort of air of expectancy when you came to the final 2 or 3 holes. But this fella's just played wonderfully. He's hardly made any mistakes at all. The putter's got him out of trouble when he has. Tom Lehman, incidentally, has only dropped 2 shots here all week to par, and one of them was the first hole of the first round. So he and Tiger have dropped about the same. So it's just a question of a putt here and a shot there. But I think a lot of players will go away from this, sit down and have a think about things and wonder where it went wrong or why they couldn't do it. Certainly not for the want of trying. Right to the whole side. Lovely touch, Ken. Everything he does, Ken. The occasional bad shot, of course, but it's power with touch and control.
It really is a lot of gilt-edge golf. As when you think he won the Masters back in 1997 by 12 shots, he won the recent US Open in June there at Pebble Beach by 15.
But you know, I still think the second 9 holes he played in the Masters when he won is the best golf he's played in his entire career. He's out in 40, and all the pundits, including me, were saying, well, there you are, I told you he couldn't last. And he came home in 30, and then he went on to win by a dozen shots. I still think that people seem to forget that. I think it was the most amazing show of golfing courage and shot making that I'd ever seen from one so young. Duval for his 4 at the 16th. That's the way it's been. Now he has now tied with no, he's dropped out of it. Bjorn's ahead of him. No, he's not. They're all at it now. They're all... His last 2 holes could well settle who finishes in second spot. Els, Duval and Bjorn now all at 11. And he, of course, has completed his 18 holes. Bjorn's gone right through the back of the 17th green. What do you think here then, Ken? 3 wood off the tee for the Tiger?
Away with the show, and it probably will be a 3 wood because the fairway narrows up at about 300 yards or 310 yards. It's a percentage shot, but he might want to go out with a blaze of glory. Just be interesting to see what his strategy is. He leads by 9 shots. Can afford to take a risk or 2.
No, the bookmakers got it right again then. He was 11 to 8 or 11 to 2 or something, I don't know. It was quite an amazing, it was amazingly short odds. Now is the wake, no, not clear yet. Don't you go till I move my flag.
Well, important putt here for Thomas Bjorn. Oh, what a way to make a 4. So he needs a birdie up the last hole, really. He's level with Els and Duval.
I think he almost certainly did play to the left of the bunker intentionally, because it would have been an enormous miss hit.
Tiger's tee shot looks like something with a bit of loft on it, not a driver. Just moving a little to the right. Perfect. Perhaps for absolute perfection it should be on the right. There's his chum, pal, mentor, Marco Mira. They're just signing a card. He must be delighted with the way his young friend has done. Duval with a driver.
Hold that camera, please.
We've had a lot of aggravation from cameras here this week, and I don't know whether the professionals, I hope it's not the professionals, because they certainly know better. There may be one or two here this week who are unfamiliar with golfing etiquette. In the light rough, but that's a good angle.
All sorts of records he's been setting in recent years. The record-winning total of margin of shots ahead is by old Tom Morris. He won by 13, but in modern times it's a good bit less than that. Tiger Woods has hit the most perfect tee shot off the 17th, a high, soft landing 3-wood. Hit it over the sheds, albeit over the Owen course today. And the fairway pinches in 300 yards, and ideally you want to come in a little bit from the right-hand side. Most awkward green. Down the left-hand side is the road hole bunker, that's a little greedy bunker that tends to gather up the ball, and on the right is the very nasty road, and the pin today cut just behind that pot bunker, and that's probably why Thomas Bjorn went past it.
Well, it's been a delight to be back in St Andrews and to see the way things have been organised and won so well. But little things I find here are disappointing, because the harbour, the old harbour that's been there since 1300 is falling into disrepair, and the Harbour Trust are desperately trying to get funds to keep it going. And when you think of money that's seemingly wasted on so many projects, I think to lose the charm of the harbour here at St Andrews, which is so historic, would be a great pity. The locals are trying hard to keep it going, but it's a struggle. So any of you with fond memories of the area want to save a harbour, you know what to do.
Well, David Toms here is probably going to be a little bit distracted by the applause that's coming up for Darren Clark, but he played a marvellous shot in from 100 yards and has just this for a birdie to, it's worth a lot of money for him. And he's made it, and that's really going to make him feel very good now. Looking up at the scoreboard, he'll make quite a nice bank balance today.
Yes, well done, David Toms. He was out the front line in 32 shots, but back in a disappointing 39, despite having birdies at 16th and the 18th. To wander across in front of the clubhouse and go to the scorer's tent and check their card is correct.
On the 17th. Now, I wonder if Tiger will do something a little bit magical, a sort of chip and run with a 3-iron to the front of the green, or whether he'll have a crack at it. Wins across.
No, you can cut from.
Peter, it's interesting to note that Wood's score for his previous 5 opens was 15 over par, and this one is 20 under.
Been practicing.
Very interesting to see which way he's going to take that road hole bunker on.
Looks as if he's got plenty of loft here, Ken.
back footer, I think.
You think so?
Oh,
Yes, it
yes,
does.
look.
Yeah, back footer. Yes, good. Oh. Short of the dreaded. Short of the dreaded.
It's lucky he's got a 9-shot lead, because that's a really nasty spot.
I don't know whether he hit it hard enough or took enough club. It looked to be fairly lofted, sort of 5-iron-ish. There was Judy Rankin just moving behind, who's here working for the ABC television network. Captain of the Solheim winning ladies team, up to the 18th.
Thomas Bjorn, second shot of 103 yards, just a little wedge, punching it under the wind. Very important shot for him if he can get this right.
Four paces over the Valley of Sin, and catching that one maybe a little clean. It certainly didn't react as I would have anticipated. So he's in Doug Sanders' country. Aaron Clark at 8 under. Very nice there. Again chasing on a fraction. Slightly disappointing day for Darren. Had high hopes going into the final round. Started the day at 9 under. It's currently at -8.
Duval second at the 17th.
Hit right.
Oh. I fear, Ken, that went straight in the bunker. Let's see if we can find... Oh, no, that's a sideways job, Ken, isn't it?
That's a real horror, isn't it? Almost in the worst possible position.
Look how the charge of the Light Brigade coming here.
Well, Tiger hasn't had a visit to a bunker yet. He's only got one more. He can get it in.
It's true. Oh, see, oh, steady old timer. That was his impression of Sam Snead. Oh, there he is. Just in there. I wonder if they'll put Tiger on there or they'll put Elgin. So we can't have Tiger. Good Lord. What great skill they have. I think it's safe for him to start now.
Now, if we can get down in 2 from here, Peter.
I'll buy you dinner. I'll buy you 2 dinners if he gets down in 2 from here. In fact, I might buy you dinner for the rest of the year.
Yeah, this is... he's trying to wheedle away around it, put it round the lip there.
Where he's walking now, it's like a little channel. I suppose you could put it there and it might swing left. But there's nowhere else to go, really. Just having a look to see how far he can get it over there and then have a putt at it. Oh. He can't go the other way. Well, I suppose he could lob it over the top with one of his little magic shots to the back of the green. But he's going to putt straight up, I fancy, hopefully into the middle of the green.
Going around the old helter-skelter here. been like a snooker player all week, planning a 1-4-4 break, 1-4-7, always in the right spot, never taking a gamble.
He's had 1-5 here, I know. He 3-putted it, and he played a very good shot into the green. And unless something special happens, he's going to take 5 today. But Duval, I think, is going to have to go out to the left sideways. I don't think he can attempt to go. Can he? No, you can't. Well, it really is very steep. You've got to hit it so hard.
It's almost a vertical lip of 6 feet.
If he does the wrong thing here and drops several shots, it could be, not that he's short of any dosh, but it could be rather humiliating. He's having to think about it. And that really is a terrifying bank. Perhaps too severe for the ordinary punter, obviously, but even for players of this caliber, I don't think he's got it. No, he's looking left now. I think he needs to be looking further left.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, hope for the best. This is a full-blooded whack at this. Oh, he did it. Well, no, he didn't. I thought he'd done it. I thought he'd done it. And he's missed his footprints. Oh, Ken.
Well, he's got 3 more inches to play with now. His ball's rolled a little bit further back.
Hold there, Marshall, please.
Just caught the very top of the lip. Well, in the clubhouse at 11 under already is Ernie Els.
Not sure whether he was asking whether he could rake those footprints before he played another shot or something of that order. John Parrymore said no, now he's in trouble, now he's in serious trouble. Now that is bad.
You'd have to say he's probably going to have to declare that unplayable.
But just imagine, Ken, if that had been Tiger Woods and a sort of, you know, 7, 8, 9 shots ahead, and suddenly you're in this situation. Look at it now. I mean, that really is unplayable. I think he may be losing the golfing brain here, rather like we saw last year. You go out of sync. You think, I must keep playing, I must keep playing.
You could play it backhanded like this, get it back into the centre of the trap. But the back lip isn't too favourable either.
Well, he's played 4.
I think he just doesn't know what to do.
No. Well, don't like the look of this, Ken.
I don't like the look of the options at all.
You're keeping score.
Well, he certainly can get it up quick enough from there, but it's still a very, very accurate shot if he's going to go at the pin. He's going over the steepest portion of the lip, and now he's going to play out backwards.
Well, that was a bit lucky too. Oh, cruel it can be.
You always know, though, Peter, if you take on the flag at the 17th and you just happen to get unlucky, that that bunker can really gobble you up.
Well, particularly now they've redone the face, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are one or two tweakings go on to over the course on the net before we come back again. Perhaps not, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were. Now it's Tiger's turn. He's played 3. Well, not quite the borrow he thought. I don't think he'll be worse than a 5. He might putt and get this out of the way, or yes, he is. I thought he'd like to get his share of playing on this hole done. 5 for Tiger.
Only his 3rd bogey of the week, and 2 of those coming at the 17th.
4 for a 69, and that'll be 4 rounds under 70 and the record, and it's got decidedly chilly in the last hour. Very chilly for Mr. Duval, I'm afraid. So an 8. Bitter blow, Ken.
Immediately dropping from 2nd to 11th. Very, very cruel. But he's been in the ring for 15 rounds with Tiger Woods, and finally he's been knocked out.
No. Three. Hey, just move back a little bit there, mate, please.
Caddy there saying stay with it, keep concentrating. It's a pretty generous fairway to be aiming at. Fully 120 yards wide. I wonder if he'll try and drive the green. Again, tactically perfect down the left-hand side. Just gives you a little bit more flat land to work with your pitch over the old Valley of Sin.
Now we usually see a cavalry charge but the spectator's been held until the players certainly get over Granny Clark's wind.
Thomas Bjorn, 4 for a 71. Beautifully done for Thomas Bjorn. 69, 69, 68, 71 for him. And he ties Ernie Els at 11 under. Goodness, a bit of a tight squeeze over the Swilkin Burn, like the lemmings.
Used to be the main bridge, you know, from St Andrews to Kirkcaldy. Or was it Cooper? Didn't have crowds in them days. I don't think it was quite necessary to hurl a couple of them back into the Swilcan burn. It was an anxious moment. Over the last few years, this has got a bit panicky. There's Tiger's mother there in the middle of the camera, boys. She's a remarkable woman. I think much of his inner thinking and thought derives from her. Father not well, had some heart problems, but she is a terrific lady.
One for the album. Extraordinary golfer.
Yes, it's been a privilege to see him play and to watch his career. Proud mum. Well, that was some reception and well deserved. No slip-ups from here. He sets new records for the Open played here at St Andrews. A worthy winner.
Concentrate here, bud. Hit a good shot. 84's our total. We're definitely at it.
What do you say about David Duval? 8 at the 17th.
I got 22 up from the 90, which is 68 white.
To say well done to Eddie Adams and all the green staff here. This week the course has been set up absolutely perfectly. Nice, firm, fast-running links golf. It's challenged all the greats.
That's a good shot.
We send our best wishes to the World Blind Golf Championships that are being played in the next few months. September's big one at Dalmahoy's East course.
But it's colder and it's in the wind. So I
And
like
the
that
Plymouth soon, 72-hole British Masters down there, and Romsey Golf Club in Scotland. An attempt to make it 3 in a row. Good on you, gentlemen. Now knock this in the hole, Mr. Duval. Let's see something. Wouldn't make up for the last, but it would do something.
Okay. Into that breeze. 84 is our total. It's a good one.
84 the total of the flag, so 80 yards to get over the Valley of Sin.
Get up.
High quality shot. Fizzing with spin, not even thinking about going for the pin, still playing the shot as if the tournament depended on it. There's the RNA Secretary's veranda, all the ex-captains. What can you say?
Well, there's been 5 of them, Kent, and I've been privileged to be at 4 of them. 4 occasions when someone has done the Grand Slam. Hogan, Nicholas Clare, and now Tiger.
I saw him wandering up the last, looking over to his mum and his Peter and his girlfriend Joanna, all on the stairs. Isn't St Andrews marvellous? Butchie Harmon.
You call him Butchie, do you?
His close friends call him Butchie.
Butchie. Mr. and Mrs. O'Meara in the background.
There is Joanna, his girlfriend.
And the man of the moment. But he needs to 2-putt. 2 putts will give him a 69. And this is the putt that we know is quite slow. It goes down the hill, and you don't see many people go past the hole from the back of the screen. They get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, wherever he goes, it becomes Carnegie Hall, doesn't it, these days? Doesn't matter who else plays, and they're all in the chorus.
I wonder how much longer, when you reach this level, you want to continue with all the sort of the life in the glass house and the greenhouse, everyone looking, and he loves it though. But for how much longer, I wonder? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Will he one day say, I'll be 50 soon and I can't wait to play in the seniors? I don't know.
I think he's got his eyes on Big Jack's 18 majors.
And then call it a day. Maybe make it 20, yeah. He's got a way to go.
He's probably thinking about Nick Faldo's record. He likes to break people's records.
I don't know what the chanting was there, whether it was Tiger, whether it was complimentary or nonsensical. It's nonsensical, whatever it was. Firm down the left. 18 inches, couple of foot, maybe a bit more. Not turned. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Short of the hole. There's his mar.
What a place to win the Grand Slam.
Amazing, and Pebble Beach as well. Els, Bjorn, Toms, Els and Bjorn in second spot, then Toms, Lehman, Eddie Couples sixth on his own. Duval for a birdie. Not to beat.
You believe it, Peter? He's back in 43.
Amazing, when he was really had putts around about the 8th and the 9th that would have, well, he was really challenging. He really was challenging, and then bang. Fulker from Sweden finishing at 8 under. Good playing from him. Butch Harmon, Mark Calcavecchia.
done an absolutely marvellous job, Butch Harmon. He was a darn good player when they got together, and he's made him better and better and better.
Now please go in. We don't want any anticlimax. Oh, well done. How about that? What a good team, he and Steve Williams. And commiserations for David Duval. 8 at the 17th. '69, 4 rounds, under 70. Butch Harmon.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's presentation will take place in approximately 10 minutes' time. We ask you to stay quiet and welcome our new champion, Tiger Woods.
Around the corner to the recorder's hut where the cars will be signed. And we were saying yesterday what valuable cards they will be. I suspect they'll be displayed somewhere at the R&A or some championship room in time. And you can actually, I don't know whether they're doing it here this week, replicas of the scorecards each day. And Mum, I thought so. Wonderful moments. Well, so the first championship of the new year, not the first according to some, but to most, the first championship of the new century gets underway in fine style.
The Millennium Open, and Tiger Woods the champion. He's won the Open Championship by the biggest margin in modern times. He's won it with the lowest ever score against par, beating Nick Faldo's 18 under par of 1990, and he joins Greg Norman and Nick Price as a champion to shoot 4 rounds in the 60s, and of course he's the youngest player to complete the Grand Slam, 24 years old. And as for the rest, well, Ernie Els, Thomas Bjorn share second at 11 under par. David Toms and Tom Lehman at 10 under par. And then Fred Couples alone in 9 under par after his round of 69 today. Pierre Fulke, Paul Azinger, Lauren Roberts, all at 8 under par. With the best finishing British player, Darren Clark. He finished with a par at the last for a round of 73 to join that group at 8 under par. And David Duval back in 43 with that 8 on the road hole and in the group at 7 under par, which also includes Bernard Langer, Mark McNulty, who came through qualifying to be here, and Davis Love there. Tremendous round from him today of 67. Padraig Harrington and Paul McGinley both in the group at 6 under par. And really a battling day and a battling championship for Colin Montgomerie, who finishes disappointingly back at 5 under par alongside Mark Calcavecchia. And also at 5 under par, Dean Robertson, a splendid championship for the Scot. Former champion Mark O'Meara, Miguel Angel Jimenez in there as well. Jean van der Velde, well, the high-profile man of a year ago, back at 4 under par. Sergio Garcia, disappointing the last 2 days, and he finishes 17 shots back at 2 under par. And all those other players at 2 under par, including Jesper Parnevik, Craig Parry, Robert Allenby, Jose Caceres, and then at 1 under par, Lucas Parsons, and another talented young Australian, Nick O'Hearn. And Nick Faldo never really threatened, despite all his good form of recent weeks, and the champion of 10 years ago finishes back in that tie for 41st. And Ian Garber, great credit to him for the way he's played over the last 4 days, finishing his Open Championship at level par. Tom Watson, the last man to win the Open Championship and the US Open in the same year, finishing at 1 over with Andrew Coulthard of Scotland and Greg Owen from Mansfield. And Chrissy O'Connor Jr., who defends his British Seniors title next week. He's had a splendid 4 days and has finished with great credit at 2 over par. And we go further down to a disappointing performance from Lee Westwood. Ian Poulter, though, a fine Open Championship from him, finishing at 3 over par. But disappointment for Ian Woosnam. Gordon Brown Jr., he came through qualifying to play in his 19th Open Championship and finished at 4 over par. Well, Jerry Pate's been watching it all with us, and I think extraordinarily you might suggest we haven't actually seen the best of Tiger Woods this week.
I don't really think so, Steve. He's so talented, gosh, but, you know, we've tried to compare him with everybody all week, but more importantly, I think we need to take the time and just understand that we should savor this moment. It's a moment in history. Tiger Woods, only 24 years old, completing the Slam. The great Jack Nicklaus, 26 years old. You know, will Tiger be as great as Jack? Only time will tell.
Is Tiger as great as Jack?
Well, I think if you took the best 20 great players in the last 40 years and put them all, lined them up in order, I think there's no question you're going to see that Tiger Woods has 10s all across the board from every aspect of the game, not only as a person, but as a player, all the way from driving to putting. And the other players would fit somewhere on the chart. He's the complete golfer.
An impression you take away from today is the demoralizing effect, the demoralized expression on the faces of the rest of the field as they walked off this course.
Well, I think so, but I know Tiger Woods well. He's not happy that he bogeyed the 17th hole.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that. And he'll think about it when he goes and looks at this in retrospect. But there's no question he's a much better player right now than the rest of the golfers in the world.
But the manner in which he's put these 4 days together, it's a great example of the craft of golf, of thinking your way around a golf course. To go around a golf course with 116 bunkers and not hit one of them during the course of 4 days is extraordinary.
Well, the golf course, for his talent, has actually become quite easy. It's almost like a par 68 for him. So he's starting out with his length and his talent. He's starting out when he tees off on the first hole with a big advantage.
He's an amazing man. He'll be receiving the old claret jug in just a few minutes' time. So he takes the Grand Slam, plotting his way through 4 quite enthralling days here on the old course. And it all began very early on Thursday morning.
This is game number 1 on King Devon Contest.
Moving, just keep moving, till I don't know what to say. I've been moving so long. The days all feel the same. Moving, just keep moving. Well, I don't know why to stay. No ties to bind me, no reasons to remain. Gotta love feeling around me, and the stone cold feeling inside. And I just can't stop messing my mind up or wasting my time.
Tiger, many congratulations. You've made history, and you've made history at the home of golf. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's the ultimate. You know, it's ironic that it just happened to be in the same. Just happened to be in the right year, and I was fortunate enough to win the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, and then to have a chance to complete the Slam here at St. Andrews was pretty special. And I played well this week. I putted well, and gave myself a chance to win the championship, and I was able to bring it home.
Yeah. We know that as a young boy, you dreamed of becoming the champion you now are. You dreamed, I presume, of joining Sarazen, Hogan, Nicklaus and Player. It must be a very special feeling to have achieved it so early in your career.
Well, I think anytime you can have success early in your career, I think it's a little bit easier. And I've been very fortunate to have the things happen in my career so far early. And it just kind of builds, and you learn from your mistakes and from your successes. And I've learned, I've made my share of mistakes, and have hopefully rectified them, and I've become a better player and a better person because of them.
And you've also set the record, of course, for the lowest ever total, and you needed that last putt to do it. You knew that. You badly wanted that putt, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew that it was for several reasons. One, I wanted to shoot 4 straight rounds in the 60s. That was something I had going out today. I wanted to accomplish that. I wanted to get to 20, though. I got to 20, but I didn't keep it there. But that putt was very important because I wanted to shoot 4 straight rounds in the 60s. I didn't do it at Augusta, and I didn't do it at the U.S. Open, but I really wanted to do it here this week, and I was able to do it.
Yeah, it was a stunning performance. Is there more to come, Tiger? Can you play better golf than you've played up until now?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can definitely play better. You know, I can eliminate some of the mistakes I've made. Granted, I am playing well right now, but there are a few loose shots I hit out there, and some of the things that I'm working on are starting to come around. They're starting to become more natural. And some of the shots I was hit today coming down the stretch, you know, I felt very good about hitting them. One of the shots I feel very proud of is the shot I hit on 16, and people think that's, you know, it's 40 feet away. Who cares? It's a bad shot. To be able to step up there and hit a high sweeping draw in there and hold it against that wind like that, something I've been struggling with all year.
Sure.
And when it matters the most, I was able to do it.
Yeah. You've got a claret jug to go and collect, Tiger. Many congratulations.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Wonderful, Tiger.
Well, the champion there being interviewed by Dougie Donnelly, and Hugh Campbell, chairman of the championship committee, steps forward to make the presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, in joint second place and winners of the Silver Quake with scores of 277, Thomas Bjorn and Ernie Els. With a score of 269, the winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer for the year, Tiger Woods.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. I think this week has been, you know, obviously, I'll be stating the obvious, it's been a very special week. But to have an opportunity to complete the Slam here at St. Andrews and to have everything, ironically enough, come down to this tournament, the Open Championship at St. Andrews, the home of golf, it's been a very special week and something that I will never, ever forget. And everyone here who has supported me the entire week, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, all the spectators out there rooting me on. You don't know how much that means to us when we get a little support out there, especially when we hit a few stray shots. Wish you would have kicked someone back in, but this week is to have my family and my friends here. It's just an incredible week, and with a chance to play with my good friend David Duval today, even though he didn't have the day that he wanted to have, but to have the start that he did and to conduct himself like a champion that he is, it was an awful lot of fun to play with him and compete against him. And the two gentlemen standing behind me who finished second, Thomas and Ernie, they both had a wonderful tournament, and I'm sorry I made a few putts this week. But these guys are champions in themselves, and they deserve a round of applause. Well, to the RNA, thank you for making this championship as special as it has been throughout the years. I've only played it since '95, but this is where it all started for me. This is my first British Open here. I'm sorry, the Open Championship. This is my first, and to come back here and finally win here, it's truly special. And I'm looking forward to next year and defending my title. Thank you very much.
Well, a remarkable week, 4 days of championship golf on a golf course presented quite beautifully. True links conditions, apart from the fact we didn't get any real wind blowing. This young man at 24 playing golf shots from every angle. He could hit them hard, he could hit them soft, he could right to left, left to right, chipping, putting, everything with such aplomb. Just generally the way he was able to plot his way around the course. Absolutely stunning, and it's been a privilege to be here to watch him.
I'm sure that Jerry Pate would echo those words, but Jerry, that's the Open, and that's the champion. He's made history in absolutely ruthless fashion this week.
Steve, if you don't believe in destiny, you need to just slow down a minute and just take a deep breath and think about what happened today. Tiger Woods at St. Andrews winning his slam, and to watch him accept the trophy, the claret jug, dressed in red, Ernie Els in white, Thomas Bjorn in blue. Quite a history.
Yeah, quite symbolic. And Tiger extending his domination of the game of golf and really strengthening the suggestion that he's the greatest player that the game has ever seen. And it's all happened here at the home of golf in the Millennium Open from the old course at St. Andrews. Goodbye from us all.